talk to you about this film. Johnny, you have this talent of imagining characters in your mind, purely infused sometimes by other characters. So was it the case in this one? Were you always meant to play an eccentric aristocrat?
It always seemed like something like that would be on the way, you know, because it's a part that I have never played, especially within the context of this, you know, kind of sophisticated romp, you know, much like the Peter Sellers Pink Panther movies. So yeah, I mean, what was the original question again?
No, it's if you were always meant to play an eccentric aristocrat, how
yes.
do you imagine them in your head?
Right.
Getting them out of your head is
that's the problem.
That's the trick.
They never leave you. But Charlie's was, I mean, his objective was pretty simple. You know, it just required a lot of complications to get there. I had a gas. I mean,
yeah, me too.
Everything was just perfect.
It was so much fun. You know, you guys have been together in 2 films before that, but this was a real bonding experience, wasn't it?
Yeah, we were talking about this earlier, that on the previous 2 movies that we had been in together, we you know, all of the jokes and mayhem happened off camera, and
yes.
it was lovely to sort of let all of that dangle on screen, as it were. You know,
yeah.
it was a lot of it was so much fun, and
Itching
our
pictures.
director was ruining takes by laughing. Crew were ruining takes by laughing. It was just, it was, you know, usually it's such a relief to go home, and it was actually. It was kind of sad at night. We used to hang around in the trailer afterwards.
Yeah.
Wanted longer days.
I'll just stop by the set and see if there's anything they need me to do.
Right.
So I can always go back in and make up. It's only 2.5 hours. It's fine.
Talk about that. Are we talking about mustache obsession? David just told me all those stories about emailing pictures of various mustaches.
That was one of the very strangest experiences I've ever had. 2 grown men in contact with one another, sending like digital photographs of mustaches and things like that. I found it kind of gross.
But you found the perfect one, so I guess the research.
Yeah, because none of those things are. The Franz Joseph is like really one of these guys. And I think it might have been too subtle, so we went with a smaller one. It says, you know, it says something without saying anything. It says yes without saying no.
So real statement.
I love it.
Right? Charlie Mortdecai's mustache says yes without saying no. Je suis Charlie.
Charlie Mortdecai.
Lui aussi, il est Charlie.
We.
On est tous Charlie.
We.
So, manservant as a description for a character, that must have been something laughable from the beginning.
Well, it's I mean, Johnny gave me the books. I read the books. Jock is a great character, and from a sort of rich history of clever servant, stupid master, master getting himself into trouble, servant getting him out of trouble. It's delicious stuff to play with, and you know, he as irritating as he finds Charlie's cowardliness and ineptness at times, he loves him and would lay down his life for him, and that's his station in life, you know, and he's very happy with it. And that's what you get from the books. It's a real, it's actually a real loving relationship.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely.
There are others. The fans had 2 questions for you. The first one was, if you were to play someone's biography, who would you choose?
Oh boy,
Well, you just did, sort of.
Yeah. Carol Channing, I thought of for a while. And I still think she's lovely, but
Peebo Bryson.
I'll tell you what, you know who might be fun? Who was that grim fucker up in Northern Ireland? Big giant guy.
Ian Paisley.
He dead.
Ian Paisley?
Yeah. I want to dress up like him. No, I don't want to dress like him. What should I do?
A question about Peter Sellers. You know, we spoke about those films and the tone of those movies. Are they the films that the comedies that you most watched, both of you, before becoming actors? What was the, main source of inspiration for movies like this one?
Oh,
I grew up watching those movies, I grew up watching movies in my house. I didn't go out much. So, I was endlessly, watching all of those old Ealing comedies. And we had a black and white television. And I thought every film was black and white. I sometimes see movies that I go, oh, that film was in colour. You know what I mean? Because I remember it so well as a black and white film. But all of those, Alec Guinness films and Peter Sellers films were what I grew up with, and peculiarly enough, what you grew up with, in America, which is makes you very strange.
No, that was huge there.
Was it?
Yeah, the Pink Panther was enormous, still is. And I love, any actor with any semblance of thought in his head has to love him, has to worship Sellers. Because like the guys that I watched as a kid, for some reason, like this public broadcasting station, PBS was showing, they were showing a bunch of Charlie Chaplin films for like a week, and I watched him as a kid and just fell in love with the guy. And then I looked around a little more and I found Buster Keaton, and I thought they were geniuses, and they were. But it wasn't like I had any particular need for it at the time, and I still don't know why I was so interested. But those guys were heavily influenced, a heavy influence on me. Lon Chaney Sr., heavy influence. I think what I love best about that is it's just emotion. It's just what you can produce through your eyes, through your body language, So that doesn't come for free. I mean, it's a kind of a strange part of the process, yeah.